and we going nowhere. Some, all the big people, some, all the roadside hustlers, some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico, the big C divide us, Tiffy, Uncle Rico, the big C. It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here, there, and everywhere.
the people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going nowhere. Some, all the big people. Some, all the roadside hustlers. Some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C.
it's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going nowhere. Some, all the big people. Some, all the roadside hustlers. Some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C.
it's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we going nowhere. Some, all the big people. Some, all the roadside hustlers. Some, Tiffy, Uncle Rico,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. They lie. The people who us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not know. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach in DNA unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us.
Rescue mission.
Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. I'm on the video. Freedom is coming.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Let me say a pleasant welcome here today to the class reloaded. My name is Stephen Johnson. Today is the 8th day of February, the year 2023. Today we have, as usual, our guest, our panelists. I'm sorry. We have Jerry Limley Pia, Reverend Mo, Michelle Dupont, Mohammed Ali, and of course, Daniel Sando. Today is the midweek edition of the program, The Class Reloaded. On tonight's edition, we'll begin the conversation with what's trending, after which we'll discuss a couple of issues. We'll first discuss the Yeke Koluba's banner at the legislature, in which he posted, and it has sparked some concern. We heard that the ECC, which is the Elections Committee or something responsible to talk about election violations, spoke about it. We'll also look at the Stanton Witherspoon case. Stanton goes to court tomorrow in Florida on charges of wire fraud. We'll look at that and see what's happening there. What can Liberians expect? We'll also look at the National Elections Commission. The Elections Commission is undergoing serious issues. There are lots of issues happening there. One of such issues is the fact that over 60,000 persons apply for a job. About 60,000 persons apply. The job is supposed to be only 6,700 vacancies. We have almost 60,000 persons apply. It speaks to the economic condition in the country, how times are high. We also heard talks from the Elections Commission about the voter registration and other election-related material, including the fact that there aren't any real laws on the book to penalize violations. So we'll dig deep into that, and then we'll talk about other issues. A longtime friend and a businessman, Sheikh Sakor, with a damning piece about WIA, in which he talked about how a fellow named Sabato Dennis is responsible for the death of Batin Niswa. Those are staggering revelations at a time when the family is still struggling to heal over the death of the loved one. And so we'll look at that. Before we go there, let's recognize our radio stations. We come your way on Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1 in Montserrado, Premium FM 98.1 there in Banga City, Bon County, Radio Tupa FM 89.1 in Grand Bassa County, Voice of Lofa FM 99.3 in Vonjima City, Lofa County, Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5 in Magibi, and of course our very own Voice of Compa FM 106.5 all the way there in Compa City, Gantanima County. We'd like to recognize some of our classmates. I see Ente Miata is watching from the recording studio. Ente Miata, yes, wish you the best of luck in your recording stuff. Hopefully we can play the outcome here in the near future. See Ente Miata, I see Joseph Kulu, I see Famata. Just a present if you're watching so that we can Emmett Hamill, Sam Zor, Saros, Clarence Benson, Saros Washington, Charlotte, Jordan Tukwe, Sissy Nitten, Clarence Josiah, Nemo, Piquet Tukwa, Emmanuel Jackson, Edwin Meyer, Geraldine, T. Besa, Pazoya, Gabriel, it's a arrival, his private jet, Eugene, Samuel Salopasa, Prince Jacob, Roger Slewian, Mohammed, Kamara, Darlington, Marie, Charles, Clarence, Echo Pape, Andrew, James, Neil, Mohammed, Susan Puaka, Topa, Phoebe Warity, John Obele, Amadou Kone, Ben, Piquet Topa, Chris, Watterson Weir, Daniel Harris, James Harris, Sedu King, Ansu Dukle, Hamilton, Rusty Ross, Famada Gay, Cecilia Wangalo, Tumu Wicks, Jerry Poker, Stanley, Adjua Jelly, Escamara Dodua, Phoebe Chokon Smith, James Harris, Clarence Josiah, Nibble Wilson, and everybody, Mandy, our Cheeks, and everybody, Josiah Chie, Geraldine Bowie, Phoebe Warity, Clarence Taylor, Jerry MacArthur, Zoga, V. Jamunde, Elizabeth Franklin, and everybody, Hawa Yuma, Lawrence Payne, and everybody who's watching us, Richard Colley, Kafuma Dukle, Hawa Yuma, and everybody, Atia Bomisi, Alice Daniel, everybody who's watching us, just share the show. Adolphus, Charles, Prince, Connie Smith, everybody. Kind of share the show. You know the requirement here, we need 1,000 shares. The Dean of Students have said the minimum requirement here is for us to get 1,000 shares. Pastor Mo, can you please mute your phone? The goal here is for us to get 1,000 shares. So kindly share the show. Today is Wednesday. It's been a great day so far. Lots of news happening.
Yeah, so Stephen, before you continue, let me just say one of the things we have now said to our followers, we want to tell them to share the show, but the class has a page. It is good for them to go on our class page and click on the follow button, right? Yeah, because if you do that, then you will definitely increase. I'm sure the class has over 150,000 followers, but it is not reflected when you check the followership on the show because many of you are not clicking the follow button on the class page. So in addition to sharing the show, I just wanted to bring it to their attention. Just go and click that follow. When you click follow, it will register you as a follower. And all of a sudden, if you see maybe in the next 1 month, you will see a huge number on the followership than what you see there now. I think the people following the class around 30K because many of you are not clicking on the follow button. So I just wanted to appeal to you to click on the follow button. And once you do that, it will reflect that you are following the show and you see that number will astronomically, escalate. So please do that in addition to making sure that you push hard to share this show 1,000 times every day will come up. I just wanted to make that appeal.
Very good point. Yeah. So yeah, go on the class page. There's a following button. Just click that button so that you can follow the show, and then every time the show comes on, it gives you a notification. I want you to do that so that it can keep you up to date, and that we can increase our audience and be able to reach as many persons as we can. So let me start the conversation with what's trending. I will start with Mo Ali, then Daniel Sano, Reverend Mo Jupor, and then Pia. As usual, we go around 3 minutes each. Please be cognizant of the time. Ali, you're going first, then Daniel, Reverend Mo.
So before Ali starts, so we settled a good debate on the football side. So I understand last night you settled the basketball good debate too.
No, man. Our basketball team, Jordan State, the greatest player, man.
But I see all calling LeBron James the goal, then you alone trying to Jordan play.
Points.
Yeah, but so they call really CNN article, they calling the goal.
So if you just pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
who is the greatest of point maker in the whole history of the game.
Yeah, but he was not a GOAT. Kareem was not a GOAT.
Because that time GOAT debate was not essential. Now the GOAT debate has escalated.
There always been a GOAT debate, but we'll have that conversation another time. There always been.
My man, if you're not King James fan, we understand. King James is the GOAT.
I'm a Celtics fan.
Yeah, so King James is a GOAT.
Well, that debate there, they will solve it when they're ready. All right, Ali, go ahead.
Okay, Stephen, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to the panelists. Monday, I could not be on. I was really engaged. Our campaign process is heating up now, and so we have to be into all of the communities every day. Mama, what you say? We have to be in the communities every day so that not only campaigning for ourselves, but our standard bearer, the Unity Party. And so, today I went to two separate communities. And Stephen, some of the problems confronting the communities are just enormous. And every community you go to, they have issue. But Mama, you disturb me.
Sorry.
So today, one of the most discussed issues in the community of where I am in the area is relating to the road from ERWA Junction to Red Light. And so there was this heated debate on one of them saying that, oh yeah, this is a CDC trademark project. They are the one who brought the road. They're the one looking for the money and all those kind of stuff. And luckily for the guys, I was there. The side I was debating that said, you know, this is not a CDC project. And I had to sit down to explain to them that this road project is not a CDC trademark project. This is a project that was initiated by the Unity Party. The project, not only that it was initiated by the Unity Party, the funding was sourced by the Unity Party, and it actually started with us. So they are completing it. They didn't bring anything. You know, and in a debate the last time on the show with two ministers of government, I challenged them, and I'm putting out this challenge again, that look, show me one major road that the CDC has initiated and sourced funding for. And lastly, Stephen, last night I drove my friend at the airport. The RIA highway has become more terrible, especially when you're approaching RIA itself. It has become more terrible. You're driving on the road, you get so confused. They have not even done a proper decor to say, okay, this is a decor since we are working here. They just put dust all over the place. There is no signpost to tell you where you're supposed to go. It has become extremely dangerous. And I'm saying this for those of you who are traveling to the airport or those coming from out of the country who will come to Pinsville or Monrovia. You need to drive extremely carefully, or else you just find yourself in some kind of ditch, and you know, it's a complete death trap. They're just destroying the road there. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel?
Good evening, and to my colleagues here on this platform. As always, it's good to be here. Now, I listened to the list of talking points that are laid out by Mr. Johnson. I think it's good for to look into some of the issues, because I think the nation now looks up to the class reloaded to dissect all of these trending issues. But basically, I would just like to throw light on the much anticipated 2023 presidential and legislative election. You know, the other day I was listening to We Are Here annual message, and he said there's a first election that's going to be organized by the Liberian Authority. That is not true. The 2017 election was organized under the authority of the Liberian government, even though international partners supported it. But that was the first election that we ourselves organized as a nation. So we anticipate that the 2023 election should follow the path, if not the path of the 2017 election, but to be more better, wherein the election commission can improve on the way it carries itself, the way it conducts the elections. I don't think that's about happening, because we see the neck is being caught up with time, and everything you now see happening here points to the fact that the ruling establishment has no respect for the rule of law. They have opened a floodgate that is now leading everybody to begin to pre-campaign. And that brings me to a point where we are looking at stakeholders in the Liberian society, people who are supposed to be independent. And talking about people who should be independent, we talk about civil society organization. And the ECC, it's not different. I heard somebody say that the ECC has been critiquing the We Are government for its flagrant violation of the election law. I've not heard that. Maybe they may do that in secret. But I think the latest action by the ECC to have come up to openly condemned Yeke Korba for posting the picture of JMB, JMB on the poster, I think they are proving to be somehow one-sided and very biased. Also going to the National Election Commission, I listened to the chairperson of the commission yesterday say that the guidelines for would-be violators of pre-campaign activities are still being formulated. I was kind of baffled. Are we beginning for a new, or do we have existing laws on the book that should be respected in terms of how we should proceed with political campaign? For the chairperson of the commission to be saying that, look, we don't have any law now, so we're still reviewing the law, alone for me is a kind of terrible sound for our country. Terrible sound because a whole lot depend on what comes up from the election in 2023. If we sit supinely and do not begin to raise the critical issues, and given how the competence, the credibility, and the neutrality of the commission has been brought into question, if we don't speak out, if we don't begin to raise a red flag, I'm afraid that the David Edward Brown Lasana Commission has proven to be absolutely unable to preside over a free, fair, and transparent election. I say so to mean that the first step that the commission should take is to exercise its authority as given by the 1986 Constitution and in the election law that was recently amended by the legislature. But what we have seen over time is a lame dog institution. Okay, a lame dog institution are falling short to even resolve intra-party dispute. So if the commission cannot resolve an intra-party dispute, how would they preside over an impartial election? I think it's a troubling time for our country. And the issues of the election, regardless of how jam-packed our agenda is on this platform, we need to talk about it consistently, because a lot depends on the election. If we cannot have this election to have a smooth transition on whether or not we're going to replace Mr. Weah or whether his mandate is going to be renewed by the Liberian people, this country is headed for problem. I just thought to flag that because across this country, there are a lot of things happening right now. There's hunger on the minds, on the faces of Liberians. There are people who are looking up to usher in a new administration in 2023. And from the way the election commission is proceeding, I mean, I can argue safely that they are unable to preside over the election. So we now want to open the door to our international partners. You've invested so much in Liberia. You brought in peacekeepers, they died for this peace. You invested millions of dollars, security sector reform, even in the support of the electionary process.
30 seconds, Daniel.
They've been supporting us. So for them to say supinely and watch this commission that is being chaired by the Edward Brown Lasana to drive this country in a very negative direction, I think is very alarming, and our international partner need to act swiftly to rescue this situation.
Thank you. Pastor Mo.
I want to be grateful to God for the opportunity today, being among the living. I want to thank God for our many listeners there in Radio Land, there in Liberia. I want to thank God for our many viewers by way of Facebook or YouTube. And I want to thank God for all of us as panelists discussing issues confronting our nation. My heart goes out to the people of Syria and Turkey for the earthquake that we witnessed a couple of days ago. I think the death toll has reached close to 11,000 or so. My heart also goes out to the Ghanaian community there in New Jersey. A Ghanaian national happens to be an American naturalized, serving on the city council.
Pastor Mo, you're sounding low.
Okay, and my heart goes out to the Ghanaian community there in New Jersey.
That lady has an origin in Nigeria, not Ghana.
She's a Ghanaian, and she married a Nigerian.
I read a story that says
She's a Ghanaian. She married a Nigerian.
She married a Nigerian.
And that story got it wrong.
But I want to extend my deepest sympathy to the Ghanaians and Nigerians community for the loss, and I strongly believe the perpetrator of the act going to be arrested. Nothing have to do with what is unfolding in Liberia. For me, I see a strong opposition. Many people saying opposition are not united. And you see, when you are going to war, you don't always tell your enemy the weapons you have. The reason why you tell your enemies the weapons you have, it is because you want to make them afraid, and you know you don't have that weapon. But I think there is a great negotiation behind the scene with the oppositions. I see a stronger, I see a united opposition, and I believe the election is going to be tough. And I believe, George, we are not going to get a second chance because we look at the way everything is going against George Weah, all of his deeds. And many people never knew George Weah. The Liberians as a whole never knew George Weah. They only knew him to be playing soccer.
Pastor Mo, the people complaining on your audio, they say you're low. Or maybe your
the-
phone far from you or something.
No, the phone is okay. Just a little Brembo left for us to scream. You know, we can be screaming. Anyway, I'm sorry. But if we look at the situation that is unfolding, every deep hidden secret of George Weah is being unfolded in the nation. I want to commend Honorable Yeke Koluba for a bravery act that he took up. And I see that he's planning on erecting more billboards in and around the city of Liberia. And I strongly believe that the election commission is unable to take this country to election because I listened to the chair or press conference. You could look at her body language. You know, some of us in the security field, we look at your body language and we know whether you are capable or not capable. She operating in fear. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Mo. Chupo.
Yes, so I actually want to be grateful to the team again. I mean, being part of the midweek edition of the program. So, trending issue from my end, political battle loops in Bonn as the Coalition for Democracy Change acting chairperson wants the lone CDC representative voted out. According to Mr. Sibley via where he said, his assertion is based on numerous complaints from citizens in Bonn that the lone CDC lawmaker in person of Representative Josiah Marvin Cole of District Number 3 is in a constant habit of actually taking resources belonging to the party and diverting it for his personal use. And according to him, he's actually undermining the party in Bonn. And just like Sibley via where many citizens in Bonn have actually complained on Representative Josiah Marvin Cole. Now they actually said this District Number 3 lawmaker is actually on record for reportedly undermining youths in this side of the country. And according to many of them, they said, Honorable Josiah Marvin Cole, who once actually branded his constituency as goat, is actually arrogant and doesn't represent the people out, at the House of Legislatures. According to them, he's yet to pass a single bill that which he was elected in 2017. So Sibley via way has since threatened to actually contest in District Number 3 against the CDC lawmaker because he said, Josiah Marvin Cole cannot actually represent, he cannot deliver the very good to the Liberian people. So there's a need for change, and CDC, means a CDC loan lawmaker in the county is actually, not doing well. So like recent time when the re-election bid, that's the rally for the re-election bid of President George Manuel Weah was hosted across the country, you witnessed that there was huge segregation among them, wherein the lone CDC lawmaker actually, organized his own team at his, party headquarters in District Number 3, and the Coalition for Democracy Change acting chairperson, simply via where actually, organized his team at the Banga Sports Stadium. That's the David Kuyan Sports Stadium. And many of those who actually attended the program, came home with frustration on grounds that what they were actually promised was not given, most especially from the acting chairperson, the one that was held at the Banga Sports Stadium. So many have actually called for reconciliation among them, but things seems to be souring by the day. Sorry. And lastly, from my end, citizens in Bong have actually reacted to comments from President Weah regarding Silver 7 being under the wage bill. That is Silver 7 actually taking less than the minimum wage bill. Because according to many of them, he's using this as a political tactics. By increasing Silver 7 salaries, they said he's actually using it as a political tactics. Because since when did he actually realize that citizens or Silver 7 are taking below the minimum wage bill? According to them, he's only doing it because he's about to leave power and he wants to do it as means of actually imposing heavy burden on the next president, who is expected to take power comes October 10. They said he's actually doing it to impose more burden on them, but that political tactic, according to them, has actually failed because it is late, and even the people he's doing it for, they themselves have actually recognized that what he's doing is a political tactic, and many of them have actually condemned it. And they said if he's actually to do that, then there's a need for, since the introduction of the reduction in the salaries of those Silver 7s, there's a need to actually pay them in full for the remaining months or years and actually deduct it from them, instead of just coming up for maybe 5, 6, or 7 months time to say that he's going to increase their salary. So that's a trending issue from my end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chupo. Pierre.
Quickly, let me wish 2 of my kids, my son, Hilton Pierre, whose birthday was yesterday, and his sister, whose birthday was 3 days earlier. Hilton Pierre and Loretta Pierre. Let me wish them happy birthday and pray that God will continue to lead them in the right way. Loretta celebrated her 26th birthday, and Hilton his 27th. So when I keep telling you, yeah, oh man, you'll be arguing to your kind of thing. See how old my kids are. Biological. I'm not talking about kids that I'm just taking care of. Secondly, quickly, Stephen, the song you play when you were doing the promo of the show with that South African tune, who's the artist? I thought it is important that you, since you play for the first time, you needed to give the credit to whoever did it, because in my mind, it's by Liberia. The makeup is very perfect. That revolutionary theme, like the South African stuff that says "Sikelele Mama."
Yeah, it's by Kiddo's little brother.
It's a very touching and powerful revolutionary song for politics. And I thought I wanted to say to him, congratulations.
Yeah, he's based in Nigeria.
Yeah, to have made such a wonderful song for JMB. We got more dancing to do, Stevie, moving towards October. We're going to dance, because if you see Sonny guy on the other side, you see the other guy who said that the papier we want, all the kind of stuff, and then you see there's a strong revolutionary song coming on. You know, we offer business. But quickly, let me run over this issue. One, Stevie, there's something that is happening consistently, and I just thought to find a way to lay it to rest here. Most of the people who are doing the wrong things, when you try to take them on, and once you are associated with the Unity Party, the first thing they do, they run at you and say, oh, Ellie, what damn Korea, all of you people who are working with your damn Korea, shut up. And What gets to me about that is that some of the people who try to do that are some people who's going to be educated. And the same thing for we, a lot of people got killed in our country who have not learned from it. One man or male Gilman does something, you hold the whole trial responsible and kill everybody. One crown man does something, you hold the whole trial responsible and kill everybody. If you know, because it's not possible, even the CDC that we're all critical on, the CDC government that we all know is very corrupt, inherently corrupt. It is not possible that every single official in the government are corrupt. It doesn't work that anyway. And that is why people normally make efforts to find the corrupt people. And that's the reason why the CDC had a clear opportunity when it came to power to help find the corrupt people by auditing the former government. Because that concept of imagining that our government was corrupt and therefore everybody there is supposed to be corrupt, is stupidity, and people need to stop that. Because there's so much contradiction with that. Just look at when we're in the election hearing process. With all the things people were saying about the Unity Party, about corruption, blah, 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 blah. All of them who were running the election besides CDC and Joel Howard Taylor, where they ran to find running mate.
UP.
Everybody ran to UP. The same government, you say everybody that were in the government will be corrupt. That the people who are giving you running mate. The very CDC, when they came to power, more than 8-9 of their cabinet level appointments were all former UP officials. But then when you're wrong and somebody kick you smart and you can't say, oh, because you were in UP, everybody's going to be corrupt. There are some of us who can challenge you guys that we worked in that government with integrity, with credibility. And that's the reason why we even have the face to come and be talking issues concerning our country. Because we know we have the integrity to do so. So you stop that nonsense. If you know people were corrupt, bring the facts, let's see. If you have a new government that refuses to audit and you think you will just throw corruption accusation at everybody, that's a stupid tactic that doesn't help. You got to stop it. Even as we go to the 2017 election. Let's look at ANC, for example. So Louis Brown, Isaac Jackson, Jiro Duncan Cassell, George Wisner, Mariah Yekula, and I can name a whole bunch of them who are former UP officials. If you believe everybody in UP are corrupt, and once you work with the government, you're corrupt, why are you taking them? Why are you giving them responsibility in your group when everybody who associated with UP in the past will be corrupt? So it's just that inherent contradiction in that kind of argument that they need to stop. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I know we get concerned about all the people who we say were killed. We normally, try to make sure that the government is being held accountable for this. But there's one thing I recognize or I realized that I wanted to bring up. We cannot cry more than the bereaved, Stephen. Not all of them, but some, like some officials that we know and we said they were killed. Everybody's saying they were killed. Didn't you see their children and family members dress up from here to tail in blue, they were on Blue Day? So, if I believe, for example, that John Brown was killed by the regime, and then the people we accuse of killing them say they're having Blue Day, and the daughter or son of that person jumps in CDC regalia from head to toe and goes to the rally, who's supposed to be making noise that their father or their mother were killed? When they stay in bed with the poor, who will say kill their people? So on that door who distinguish themselves, we don't have to talk about no people. I don't want to call names specifically, but I know that I saw the daughter and son of some of the persons we said government killed. But after they're running around in the so-called blue rally. So we can't be crying more than the bereaved. I can be saying they killed that man, and his daughter and everybody else say no. Because by going to jump in all over blue and running around for CDC means you don't believe that CDC killed your father or your mother. And something caught my attention. I don't know what are you guys, anybody heard it? I read it on Cool TV. And they were quoting Yega Koroba of saying, if the opposition put Kennedy against him in his district, he will declare support for WIA and he will run as an independent candidate. It caught my attention for two reasons. The reason number one, for Yega to say that means that maybe he's hearing something from around the corner that Unity Party, Liberty Party, and ALP, because those are the people to focus on. Maybe he's hearing something that they want to put Kennedy up because you're already an ANC man, and ANC will not put Kennedy against it. So whatever informed that, I just wanted to say this. If there is any thought in the mind of the UP, ALP, or Liberty Party to dare put somebody in that district, I'll be the most stupid political decision I would have ever seen in my whole life. Yeke has stood the test of time. Yeke, if I rating people with regard to how they afford this government, Yeke for me rank number 1. It does not take anything away from the Dillon, from Nyobli, from Butchers, from Steve Zagu, and a handful of them who doing a great job. But in my mind, Yeke is number 1. Yeke party knows no boundary. When Yeke went to capital to put up Bilbo, which we'll be talking about, he didn't go poke Cummings Bilbo up because he's from ANC. He did Cummings, he did Bouaka. So if any of the party by mistake, dreaming or anything like that, it would be a very stupid political decision and they better discontinue it. But the problem I have with Yeke in that, because it's a two-side story, yeah, Yeke, I guess you are against Weah because you hate him, because you believe he's not competent, and the party he runs has failed the country so badly. So if out of fear that somebody will do something to you, if you say that you support the poor, that means, why have you been against them? Is it to protect yourself or what? Because if you truly against them because Weah is not somebody who can deliver, if you're not against them because the CDC is something else, then how can you say the poor candidate again will declare Weah? Is it not a contradiction of all that you have struggled for? So it's a two-way street. Why I'm questioning the other people not to make that mistake because people are really stupid. I think Yeke was a little bit off track with that kind of statement because you can use threat of I will support Weah as a way of making your case when you have said consistently that this man called Weah and the institution he represent nothing for the country. That's a slip in my mind. And basically I think that's all I have for my trending issue. Yes, Stephen, so we stop there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Stephen, let me make one quick clarification. I agree with Pierre, and that's why, as far as I know, the Unity Party is not going to put out any candidate against Honorable Yeke Koluba. In fact, the person who was even thinking about contesting in that district long ago told him, say, step down. Yeke is fighting for the opposition holistically. There is no way we must go to put candidate against him. Look at even when they were having the State of the Nation address. When all the CDC lawmakers were there clapping and cheering, they had a cheering squad there. It was only Yeke who stood up in that crowd and booed the president. And at certain point, it was only Yeke who was saying, Muya, opposition, Muya, until he embarrassed the president. We have to say, all right, now let's move on. So Yeke is fighting for us at the UP. I can speak from the perspective of the UP. I mean, even if somebody were to say from the UP are going contesting district, then we'll all stand up against that one.
Thank you.
And the same thing comes from the Liberty Party. Yeke is a very good friend of the political leader, and I do admire his role at the legislature, his advocacy. I mean, he's very clear about his support to the opposition. I heard him say this morning that whether opposition unite or not, they will come together in the second round to defeat George Weah. From the angle of the Liberty Party, there's no such contemplation. And I would just like to join Mr. Pierre to say that I think Yeke went overboard by saying if there were any attempt to put a candidate against him, he will go to support Mr. Weah. Because I do not think that the issues for which he had criticized Weah for the last 5 to 6 years will suddenly change only because another party tried to put candidate against him. The issues are unchanging, and I'm not too sure that he's been very selfish about his advocacy. His advocacy has been in the supreme interest of the Liberian people. So while we are watching his back, he also has to be very mindful about what he says to the public.
Thank you.
Two things before you go, Stephen. I'm not only talking for Yeke. I'm talking about Yeke because Yeke raised that case. But I also think it would be politically stupid to put for any of the party to put a candidate against Costa. If Costa wants to bring his desire to run to fruition, it would not make no sense for any of those parties to put candidate against Costa.
Yeah, I agree because one of the things we want to see in the new legislature is a group of flow fighter, a group of people, not just people we anticipate will go there to fight, but people that have the history, the long-standing history of being involved, of being active participant in the body politics, standing for causes. And this is why I have said and will continuously say, when it comes to the legislature, especially the representative and senator, I am only going to support candidates that I believe have been tried, tested, and proven. They have demonstrated a desire to fight, to take on causes. Those will be the only people I will support. Because if we want to build a strong nation, if we want to build the new Liberia under JMB, the legislature will have to be a bastion of hope for our people. The legislature will have to be that place which will fight in the collective interest for the general hope and Lord of our people, not a place where the president can just hoodwink, a place that the president can use money to just infiltrate, but people who stand up on behalf of the people. That is the kind of legislature some of us envisage, and that will be the position we will take going forward. We'll only support people that have demonstrated that radical involvement of our history over time. They've stood for causes, and they've not without fear participated in activities that are in the best interest of our country. Having said that, let's move to this Yeke story. Now, Yeke has been in the news since he became a representative. Well, long before then he was, but I mean, since he became a representative, he has been very, very vocal. As Pia said, Yeke is one of the strongest critics of this government, if not the critics. And just a few days ago, we noticed that there were posters, flyers, and banners placed across the country for President Weah's so-called nomination that happened over the weekend. But one of the things we've seen, even in addition to that, is the fact that we've seen on public utilities like light poles and other government installations, we are 2023. In fact, light poles paid for by taxpayer money have been used as campaign tools. Also, the president has used funding intended for county development, social development, to place it under his budget and make it like a presidential goodwill. You saw him donate vehicles to the chiefs, police, as a Weah project. Now, Yeke has been very radical of late. He's more radical. He said that he will go across the country and put the flyers of his political leaders and the opposition across the city. And I think this is a good venture. We have to support Yeke, and we made effort to get him here today. Unfortunately, we couldn't. We'll keep trying for him to come back here, and so that we can all be able to raise funding for him on the project to put posters, flyers, banner across the country of opposition political parties, just as the CDC is doing. Because you see, these elections that are coming, they are not ordinary. They are not an election where you will say you are working with a civilized administration who has respect for the rule of law. The first people to violate all of the laws in Liberia has been the CDC. The flagrant violation, blatant disregard to the rule of law has been the mantra of the CDC. And so if we as opposition must be a more proactive body, we have to engage them fire for fire. We cannot sit and complain. They should take our complaint. We have to be very proactive. And this is why we like the fact that Yeke is doing this and that we support him 100%. So guys, you've seen this. When Yeke went on the Capitol building and put the banners up, the next day we see the ECC coming publicly to condemn. We saw the National Elections Commission talking about there will be punitive action against people who violate election laws. Is it that these people are only concerned when the opposition is involved, or is this just an act of sheer hypocrisy intended to siphon or to what do I say? Intended to stifle the opposition, or are they really sincere? Why come they don't talk when the CDC, as the ruling party, will do similar thing? I saw supporter of the government passing in front of the executive mansion. when other people are having their political gathering, they are not allowed to pass in front of the executive marshal. These are violations that we have to pay attention to. Prince Johnson has indicated many times that he anticipates violence in these elections. The Vice President, Drew Howard Taylor, foresees a constitutional crisis. So these are the cross-cutting issues, guy. And I thought that let's have this conversation. We'll talk about it. We'll bring Yeke here hopefully soon. We reach out to him. He's been here before. We've been trying to get him. He's been in and out of the country, so we're bringing here, Luis. Hopefully, maybe Monday or so. We'll try our best. So let me hear from you. I'll begin the conversation here this time with Daniel, Ali, Chupor, Reverend Mo, and then Pierre.
All right. Stephen, on the issue of what Honorable Yeke did by putting up the billboard, I think he's right. And, Yeke can do things, but before he does his things, he usually consults with people, and I can say that he consulted with me. He called me, he said, General, I say yes. Usually he calls people General. He said, these guys have their billboards all over the Capitol building. Capitol building, you're not supposed to do that. And especially so, campaign has not been declared. What do you think? I intend printing banners to go and plant it there too. And I said, well, that's a great idea. Why won't you do that? And he did his stuff, sent it to me. He said, General, how you look? I said, it's okay. And he put it up there. I feel a little ashamed that it is only Yeke Koluba who is doing that. That it is only Yeke Koluba who is brave enough to stand up to these kind of things. And let me take issue with our lawmakers, Unity Party lawmakers, and I hope they will be listening. When Yeke started that initiative, you see it, you should even do more. These people have got thousands of flyers in the streets. Thousands of flyers. Every light pole in the city of Monrovia and Painesville has the flyer of President Weah on it. If Yeke as a representative can afford to print 2 banners, big banners, not only that he printed them, he bought blocks, he brought cement, he brought the iron. They went there, carried the truck in the yard because they will not allow the truck in the yard. My understanding, I think I was hearing from Daniel Sandler or somebody, Charles Rauer, Yeke took his representative license plate and put on the truck, and the truck entered. And he planted it. Stephen, the people violating, let's assume that each of the lawmakers decided to sponsor such venture. If you don't want to do it on your own, if Yeke can print 2 banners, let's assume each lawmaker from Unity Party say, I will print 2 banners too. And the boys put it all over in the street. Then we'll look out to NEC now. Then NEC come on and say, you must take it down. Because for years, we sit and complain. We only know how to complain. CDC violating the law. CDC doing this one. So one man get on and say, you know what? I'm not coming sit down. You can say, I'm not coming sit down to be complaining about whether CDC violating or not. And the last time, the other day when we talk about it, and somebody said, oh, you guys need to be different. Y'all say y'all want change. But let me tell you, my response to the guy was, but how will bring a change? We can leave opposition to bring change. The people who in government, chaclining us all over here, they campaigning. If we are not campaigning, our people will say we're not serious, we don't want it. So instead of just sitting to complain, we should do it too. And I applaud Yeke Koluba. I told him, thank you. I personally called him to say, Yeke, thank you. And I hope our other lawmakers will look at this and follow him. And not only lawmakers, but those in opposition who can afford to do it.
to print more banners and more flyers. That put it all over. NEC is compromised. Director Lansana cannot tell the CDC anything. Nothing at all. She will sit there and they will do anything. And so we look at it. Yeke did well. NEC is compromised. They're not going to say anything. So let's just start the campaign. And I told somebody that ECB, the ECC, or whatever they call themselves, and be writing some funny release. Then the reason I took issue with them today, they sponsor what they posted on, what they released, they wrote. You see the bold headline, ECC condemned Yeke. When they were condemning the other people, there was no bold headline that says ECC condemned CDC. They will only say CDC violating election law. Then you see the small thing under A. That small writing what you even care to read says ECC. Small under A. But when it comes to Yeke, the bold banner headline, ECC condemns Yeke. I never saw ECC condemn CDC or the government for campaigning. That's why I pull out the stuff today, and Malcolm Joseph called me, oh, you know, you are not reading the newspaper, we're condemning the people, this and that. On Yeke, you are press conference. On the other people, you are issuing small press releases. Then you tell the newspaper, don't make a banner headline. They just put there, violating election law. ECC says so. Small letter where you can't even see until you wear magnifying glass. So Yeke did well. I am calling on our lawmakers to adopt similar posture. We will campaign, because it's only through campaign we will get all those criminals out of power. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Daniel.
Thank you, Stephen. You know, talking about the CDC being ruthless, and I was contemplating when the CDC in 2017, when Mr. Weah got elected president, there's a fellow from Zambia who wrote, and you know what he said? Liberia has gone to the dogs. Footballer George Weah will be the ultimate puppet president. You know, reading that article and just opposing the prediction I was made in that article to what is happening today, I think this guy was far-sighted. You know, if there should be any group of people who should be leading by example in this country, it should not be the opposition. It should be the government, because they have got a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that there is adherence to the rule of law. But I think for the most part, the CDC, since its formation, has found it difficult to transition from a lawless and ruthless radical organization to a responsible political party that is interested in the provision of statecraft for better governance of this country. The CDC today, 5 years after they won election, they're still behaving like they did back in the days in opposition, carrying casket and threatening war and threatening violence and all over the place. That is
Daniel, please let me make one quick announcement. All those that are calling me on my Lone Star number to talk about show, I'm using my Lone Star number for hotspot. Every time you call me, you interrupt me. Please don't call my Lone Star number.
Okay, so that the CDC is now leading the way, giving the carte blanche to every political actor to violate the laws in this country as far as electioneering is concerned, it shouldn't be surprising to us, because this is a political party that has found it difficult to transition. Look at the people in the CDC, how they can talk. Look how they carry themselves. Look, so we have to move the argument from what the CDC is doing in government to what the institution created by law is not doing. And that brings me to the point where I want to add my voice to what Mo Ali said. The election commission headed by David Etta Brown Lasana is not just incompetent, but I think they are up for disaster. And the members of the board of the commission are neck. They need to be reminded that the last time people decided to be laissez-faire with their role in managing election in the country, there was war. And when the war came, some of the people, parents or relatives were affected by the war. Of course, David Etta Brown Lasana will be fortunate to leave the country when she messes up with the election. But her family members will not be able to escape. Cover be excused, they will be targeted. Basik Bamba will not be able to escape. Even if he does, his family member will be targeted. So they have to understand that the tax that is now placed upon their shoulder, by the privilege given them to say you are chairman or member of the board of commissioner and NEC, you have to first recognize the fact that, look, so many things depend on what we do here as members of the board of commissioners. To sit supinely and see the CDC violating the laws, and you cannot come up to issue a statement, even as we criticize James Fomoya and more baby witness, James Fomoya was able to bring the United Party to a standpoint and say, look, you are against the law, you got to stop this. It's pre-campaigning. But this commission headed by David Etta Brown Lasana is unbecoming. It has reached a tipping point where I think the international people who are watching, who are supporting the electoral process of the country, they need to get involved. Because if everything was left to David Etta Brown Lasana, they were not even speaking to a federal commissioner on the bench. They're not speaking to each other. People went to the Senate the other day and they were making flower before the senators in open plenary. So the division was glaring. That speaks to how the people are not serious, and they do not even know the magnitude of the tax that hovers upon their shoulder. And so we will consistently call on David Etta Brown Lasana and the folks on the bench, the members of the board of commissioners, to ensure that yes, you now have the privilege to serve in that capacity, but you also have that duty as a Liberian citizen to do everything you can, that civic responsibility to protect the sanctity of our democracy. Because only one thing that guarantees our right to speak out is a democracy. And how do we protect the democracy? Through the integrity of the election that we're going to have here. So, back to the legislature. I think the United Party lawmakers have not really impressed us. Liberty Party has, Hans Baji alone at the lower house. We have 4 senators. Everybody on the platform bear witness that our 4 senators, with all of their flaws, but they've been very pivotal. They've been very supportive of the opposition. The United Party numbers at the legislature from both houses combined should be able to form a very formidable bloc. But disappointingly, we have seen very little. And talking about Yeke being very fearless, even in that hall when we had told all those noise makers to cheer for him and all that kind of thing, Yeke, in the midst of United Party lawmakers, chanted Joseph Boaka. Joseph Boaka, oh yeah. United Party lawmakers could not even support Yeke. What are they afraid of? Because they are on lucrative committees, and if you stood up for your party, you'll be removed. We live in a democracy. What strengthens our democracy is the political parties. They are the building blocks of the democracy. So when your party elects you at the legislature and you go there, you have a complete different agenda. A complete different agenda. On how many occasions do the party dictate to you to say, take this position? Very suddenly. Very rarely. So if the party say, take this position in support of the party agenda, why don't you take it? It happened during the impeachment procedure of Cabinet Janet. Very illegal impeachment. You know, the party lawmaker, from my own party, they sway away from the party agenda. So we are looking forward to building the legislature, a legislature that will not be basically focused on getting kickbacks for themselves. The only way we can move this country forward, if we have somebody like Joseph Boaka in the mansion, you also need to have a legislature that is reflective of the decent values of our democracy.
30 seconds.
Right? So I mean, time is already fast spent. We are 8 months away or 9 months away from the election. They need to double it up, because what we are is going on right now is a spree of violation. He's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. So we will now have to speak the language that the CDC understand. How do we do so? We need the support of elected officials. Okay? So it's a clarion call to our lawmakers. They need to be very robust to buttress the effort of the main opposition parties. That's how we're going to remove WIA. Because the overriding majority of the CDC enjoyed the legislature labyrinth, but have benefited from it. You have a CDC president pro tempore, you have a CDC speaker. The legislature is like a symmetry. Nothing good comes from there for the Liberian people. We want to revive that area. To do so, we need men and women who are willing to speak out. Stephen, thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Pastor Mo?
Oh, thank you. When you ask a security officer or a law enforcement officer, when you are trained to conduct investigation and you are investigating somebody or you are interviewing them, there are indicators of guilt. There are indicators that the person committed the acts. And a trained investigator or a trained interviewee, he look for those indicators on the person that he is interviewing or the person he or she is investigating. As I sat yesterday, the video was sent to me, 8 minutes video, and I witnessed the Election Commission Chair, David Brown, being interviewed.
Sorry, Stevie, you saw what he was saying just now? They say they are having problem streaming to Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think the network. I don't know, but are we online? Check Facebook and see what we're there. I think we're there.
The Gemini show, eh?
Yeah, I don't know.
You hear me? The Gemini show, because I'm looking at it from my other phone. I don't think we're online. We're just in studio. Ben and Jimmy.
I don't know. Ali, try to get. We're on Facebook?
Yeah, we are live.
Okay.
Yeah, you watching it live because I'm not. It's just, and I see somebody already complaining.
No, but Pastor, you watching live? Go on Facebook and see.
Stephen, it's not live. It's not live.
It's just talk.
The Gemini broadcast.
I saw the notification. They said they are finding it hard to stream live.
The Gemini broadcast. You see it? You see it? Look it. You see my phone?
Yeah.
The Gemini broadcast. The Gemini from Liberia.
So what I do? I should cut it off and open a new one.
No, let's see it.
Yes.
Let me try again.
Yes. Log out.
Yes, I think.
They are Gemini. You're not going to go through until you log off. Affecting them. Broadcast is affecting them. Oh, and restart.
I think we're just listening to ourselves now. Steven, maybe you should end it and then restart it.
Because we're live on YouTube.
Okay, let me check YouTube. What's our name on YouTube? Class, read over there.
No, on my page, my name. I watch it with live.
But it's just It just loading here. It's not.
Yeah, it just talking. It's not actually
Steve,
going.
what's your name on
Look here.
YouTube?
Look here.
Hold on, let me put it in.
Look, Steve, look at my phone. Look here.
Yeah, I see it.
It's available.
So we cut this off. We got the number just
They
stopped.
jam it. They jam it.
Let me start it.
They jam it.
So I
Is
gotta
there
send
any way
you-
you see what they say here? We are having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook end. Is it possible the stream was ended or
They
deleted
are
on Facebook?
jamming it
We'll
for
keep
like
trying and let you know if it is resolved. Please check Facebook to ensure the stream looks okay. If this continues for a while, try creating a new broadcast or just remove this destination from the broadcast, then re-add it. Read the last something.
Yeah, I see it. So we gotta go back. Oh, I gotta send you a link.
It's reading live on my computer.
Now you don't see me on the show.
I think we're
But
back on. Ali, you see it?
Let me
No,
call you back.
you are not on. Let me check it out.
Let me try again.
Mm.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Restart it, Stevie. It's not live. Restart it.
You are not live. You are not live.
Okay.
You are not live.
So
Look
I
here.
ending this, my people. I'll send
You
it
are
to
not
you.
live. Hey, Jamie, you are live in here, but you're not live on Facebook.